Fala galera, welcome to the Strategist Corner. In today's video, I'll show you how Mosaic continues to integrate with other analytics tools. At this point, remember, we've seen how we can integrate Mosaic with Power BI, Tableau, Click, Excel, Python, many different tools. In today's video, I'll focus on Sigma, the integration between Mosaic, Strategy, Semantic Layer with Sigma. Let's see it right now. Okay, so here we are in Sigma. This is Sigma. As you can see here, they have like workbooks, data sources, a few specific blades in here that I'm not going to cover in detail. But let me show you the first step. The first step basically is connect to a data warehouse, which in this case, we're not actually connecting to a data warehouse. We'll be connecting to Strategy Mosaic, to the semantic layer. So let me click this option here. And once here, you see that you can give a name to your connection. Let me call it strategy, right? And then you need to select the type, the data warehouse type. In this case, we support Starburst. Starburst is a three-node distribution. So we'll be choosing this one right here. And then we start adding the host, the port, username, and password. So as you can see, I have my connection to Starburst or to Trino already created. I can now click Browse Connection, open the specific database that I have in there, SQL, and then the one where I save my Mosaic model. You see this one here, revenue model? So this is the semantic layer. Let me quickly show that to you in Sigma. Once you click in there, you will see the table with all of its columns and of course the content, as you can see right now here. And that basically is what you see here in Strategy Library, right? So this is your Mosaic model called revenue model with all the attributes, the green ones in here, and metrics. Just remember that attributes are a strategy concept. In Sigma or in Power BI or Tableau, what you will see are not the attributes, are actually the columns. That's why if I go back here to Sigma, I see brand name, which is a column name, sales channel name, again, a column name. In strategy, they are just sales channel, just brand. All right, but anyway, I have my Mosaic model available in here. That is the first step. It is configured already. I have my connection from Sigma to strategy properly established. As a next step, we can now start creating stuff in Sigma. I would love to use the assistant here that they have, but unfortunately, I don't have well, in this environment that I created, this is a trial Sigma environment. And in here, I don't have the privileges or the licenses to use agents. But anyways, let me do something different. Let me go ahead and create a new workbook. All right, a workbook is somehow like a dashboard as far as I got. I'm not a Sigma expert by no means, but in here we can create some sort of dashboard or workbook as they call it. You see down below here we have data. So we can click here, we can choose like a table in this case. And here's where you go and get your Mosaic model, your semantic layer. So let me just click in here. You can see your model available right now. And then after that, you can start creating your charts. So let me click here this button to create a chart. Chart in this case, right? Let me choose the type of chart that I'll be using. You have here bar, you have line, you have donut, you have pie, all these chart types. Let me just use the bar chart, that's fine. And then what I'll be doing is in the x-axis, I'll be dragging, let me try with brand name. So let me drag brand name in here. And then under y-axis, I'll be adding one of the metrics that I have. Let's do with net revenue. So net revenue, let me drag this one all up here to y-axis. And then it starts to fill in the bar chart. You will see the specific numbers for net revenue by brand. There we go, right? We can see this information here. Once you hold the mouse over, you can see the the net revenue by specific brand name. Later, you can apply formatting. Let's do it like currency in this case. All right, we can see it's a currency formatted right now. We can also do sorting, right clicking here and sort by net revenue in this case. There we go, right? So that's just one small first chart here. We can also add controls, UI, layout, all these things. We can also click here, input, add a CSV. But let me just do another chart. Let me click here, a chart, and this time I'll be using maybe a donut, this one, again using the revenue model that I have available here. And let me just add here, let's see what I can do. I can do product category in the color by area. And let me do net revenue once again under value. So let me go all the way down. Net revenue is available here. Let me just drag it all the way up here to the, I think it's the value area. Yeah, probably this area right here. There we go, right? So I have my donut here showing uh, net revenue by electronics. Again, I can click here and make this a currency formatting. And again, I have the proper value right here. I can maybe drag this to the right of the first one. Let me just make it not that, let me just make it narrow. And I'll narrow this one down a little bit too. I'll put them side by side, but you know what I'm doing, right? Basically here, I'm just formatting my dashboard or my workbook as they call it. In the end of the day, it's the work of the data analyst to go and keep formatting, adding charts and all that kind of stuff. You can certainly double click here and make this net revenue product category, something like this. You can rename those things, right? There we go. All right, and later we can save this, right? We can save this workbook or exploration, as they call it here. Let me call it my first Sigma workbook. And there we go. Let me just click the save button. All right. Now I'm going to save this one. Well, not actually saving. I already saved this one. Let me just go back to home and I'll be showing you another object that Sigma offers, which is a report. I cover reports, strategy reports in a former video, by the way. You can definitely click the link available right here and use the report in the strategy. But this time, let's use a report here in Sigma. So that's the one. Let me click here, report. And again, the same thing, right? We can click charts, we can use controls, we can use like a text input or maybe UI items like a text. Let me go again and add a chart to this one. Let me choose the KPI this time. And again, I'll be selecting my semantic layer because the purpose of this video is actually to show the value of connecting Sigma to a single version of the truth, to my business definitions, to my semantic layer. So let me go and click here. And since this is a KPI, I'll be adding, this time I'll be adding profit. So let me just, well, I tried double clicking, but it's not a double click actually. It's all about dragging and dropping it all the way up here. And I think we'll get the total. Yes, we get the total here. We can format it as currency. There we go, right? We can add one, then later we can add another one and start building this kind of report object here in Sigma. I'm not going to save this one. I'm just showing you that there are options that we can do. Well, why not? Why not save it, right? Let me click here and publish this one, or actually, let me just give it a name, file, save as a new report. Let me call it my first report in Sigma. There we go. We can click the save button here and then we can go back. Of course, we can make this report way better than this. This is just a basic report, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to show you the integration between Mosaic and the tool Sigma, as you can see here. All right. Remember, when working with tools like Sigma or Power BI or Tableau, the main purpose here is different folks in the company. They may have different tools, and in the end of the day, they are connecting to a single version of the truth, to a single semantic layer, which is Mosaic. Could be a Mosaic model like this one here, but it could be Mosaic schema, something that you already have in your company without the need to create a Mosaic model like the one I created here. So if you have a MicroStrategy or strategy project with all your attributes and metrics in place, you can use that Mosaic schema to create intelligent cubes, and then later in Sigma or Power BI or Tableau, whatever tool you use, you will be able to get the same views of your data, as I just saw, as we just did in here with the Sigma workbook. All right, my friends, that's it for this demo. All right, so as we just saw, it's pretty easy to connect Mosaic to Sigma. All we have to do is first create a connection. In other words, using the Starburst connector. This way you can connect to your strategy environment and start bringing in your Mosaic model. Once that is done, you can go ahead and create your workbooks, your reports in Sigma. In the case that you have AI enabled in your environment, you can definitely use AI in Sigma as well. Well, as you just saw in the video, I don't have AI enabled in my trial Sigma environment. That's why I couldn't use that option. But anyway, in case you guys have that, all you have to do is use AI and start asking questions. Those questions will be based on your semantic layer in your single version of the truth. So, and remember, in the end of the day, that same Mosaic model can be consumed by other folks in your organization that are not necessarily using Sigma. They can be using Power BI. They could be using, I don't know, Claude or GPT or Excel. But the main thing is all of these users will be having access to the same numbers, to the same semantics, right? Revenue will be always the same. Brand will be always the same. Category always the same. So that's very powerful. And I strongly invite you guys to use Strategy Mosaic as your semantic layer. Once again, thanks a lot for being here. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, share it with your folks, and it's my pleasure to have you here. I'm always looking forward to seeing you all at the next corner.